With concern over fans turning on Triple H and more, this is Wrestling Hub. My name is John and you're watching the Wrestling Report for August 21st. Before we get into the rest of the video, make sure you subscribe to Wrestling Hub and turn on all notifications to stay up to date with everything in the world of pro wrestling. Also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Wrestling Hub Official and follow us on Twitter at Wrestling_Hub. Despite attacking the arm of Liv Morgan on Friday, Shayna Baszler made sure to not seriously injure the champion, saying on the SmackDown Lowdown, "I am sick and tired of everyone accusing me of not pulling the trigger or restraint or however you want to word it, okay? What I did tonight was strategic. I need Liv Morgan to be medically okay in Cardiff, okay? As much as I relish in the sound of tearing people's limbs off, like when you pull the turkey leg off at Thanksgiving, that will be so much sweeter when I'm walking out with her limb and the title at the same time at Clash at the Castle. That wasn't restraint, that was strategy. I need Liv in Cardiff, and now I made sure she's gonna be there. Watch me." Liv Morgan would take to Twitter today to show off the bruises she received at the hands of Shayna as she wished fans a good morning. Speaking about the craziest moment from his career on Logan Paul's podcast, Triple H recalled a match with Kurt Angle and The Rock from Summerslam where he accidentally knocked out Angle. I might need a list. I'll give you an example of something that one time The Rock, Kurt Angle, and myself were in a storyline. We're having a triple threat match at SummerSlam 2000, and Steph's a part of that. She's in the back. As a part of that match, Kurt is going to get put through a table by me. I'm going to pedigree him through a table. He's going to get knocked out and they're going to cart him off, except we get up on the table. I hook Kurt's arms, and as we're about to go for the pedigree, the table breaks from underneath us. I'm looking down to try to protect Kurt because I got his arms in. First rule, right? Protect your opponent. I'm trying to protect him, but we come down and I watch his head smash into a control box. We hit, it's funny, right? We hit and I go down and I hear Kurt start snoring. He's out cold. So I put my hand on him. I go, "Kurt, you okay?" He starts trying to get up, take a mouthpiece that he doesn't have in out of his mouth, and he's trying to get up. So I grab him by his straps and I pull him down. I said, "Dude, don't move." I hold him there and I tell the referee like he's out. So they take him on a cart to the back, which was supposed to happen, except for he's out and has no idea where he is. We don't know if he's coming back, and the whole thing is him coming from the back with Steph and coming from the back and doing all this stuff. Now, this is where the story gets terrible, because today we know about concussions and everything else. None of this should have ever happened, but we didn't know this at the time. But Kurt goes back in the ring. Rock and I are just working now. Now we're off script, and we're just working. We're just talking to each other, and at some point, we're getting feedback from the back, from the referee, and finally, I just tell Earl Hebner, "Earl, do not tell me one thing." With a lot of expletives in there, they say in the back, "I don't give a I need one thing. Tell me if he's coming back, if he knows where he is. That's it, that's all I need to know. And tell me when. We'll just keep going until somebody tells me he can come out or he ain't coming. I'll figure out a finish." Here comes Kurt, and we see him coming. Steph has him like a kid, like walking him down the ramp, and he's glazed over. He has no idea where he is. Now Rock and I start doing stuff with him and literally just tell him what to do. At one point, I go to punch him with Steph behind him, but he's got to duck the punch, and I'm gonna hit Steph. Like, he can see me rearing up, he's just looking at me. I know he's not ducking. I had to grab him by the neck and pull him out of the way so I could hit Steph. That's the kind of stuff you can't, there's no way to plan for it. There's no way to anything. When I watch that match back, you go like, oh my god. I would never know anything was wrong. I would never know anything was amiss, any of it. But for us, we were flying without radar and just going. When you get to that place, you can do anything, but it's a challenge, and stuff happens. It is what it is. Injuries happen, moments happen where things change, and you gotta just be able to switch on the fly. Speaking of the WWE head of creative, Titus O'Neil was asked by TMZ Sports about Triple H taking over as he said, "I have full confidence that in time Triple H and Stephanie McMahon will continue to guide us into a whole nother stratosphere when it comes to sports entertainment. I think he will play to the purest of wrestling fans as well as those that love sports entertainment and combine it with the best of the best. Vince McMahon took a lot of chances and Triple H I'm sure will do the same." Despite Karrion Kross and Scarlett making their way back to WWE, it seems the company is letting them fulfill their remaining appearance commitments made prior to them re-signing, as Kross wrote, "Hello Kross Colt, moving forward I will only be competing in the ring for the WWE Universe. However, Scar and I will fulfill the last couple dates for meet and greets only to see all as long as it doesn't conflict with our committed schedule. See you soon." With Lana's in-ring acumen being a point of criticism during her WWE career, her managerial skills were always praised by most. As Cage Side Seats recently said, "I know we all remember Lana the okay-ish wrestler, but we should also remember Lana the excellent manager. Miro doesn't need a mouthpiece, but they could make a heck of a duo on Rampage." This caused Miro to reply, writing, "Lana is a better wrestler than 95% of the entire locker room and also best manager. Your reports are okay-ish at best." On his Click This podcast, Kevin Nash talked about the late great Scott Hall, giving him praise as one of the best of all time. Without a doubt, he's probably one of the 5 most talented wrestlers. To put Scott Hall on your Mount Rushmore is not because you lost your friend. I've touched with everybody, all the Hall of Fame guys, and there's nobody better than Scott Hall. Nobody. Scott can wrestle, Scott can punch and kick, Scott can work babyface, Scott can work heel. He's a great tag wrestler. He was the total package. Talking about Hall's Razor Ramon gimmick from his days in WWE, Nash said, "I think towards the end of his WWF run, I think he was less Razor Ramon and more Scott Hall. But the thing was that he was so convincing that every time we go someplace anybody of Latin or Spanish descent, they would always speak Spanish to Scott. Everybody thought he was Cuban. Like Scott would say, 'No dude, I'm from Baltimore.' Dallas, him and DDP were going to bring the toothpicks out, but Dallas fumbled his before it happened. So it ended up Scott being the only one that threw the toothpick, but Dallas gave him the whole look. Dallas told him how to dress." Talking about the inspiration for his ring name in WWE, Edge revealed to Fox News that he wanted to go by his real name. "I actually came up with Edge. I would have preferred Adam Copeland, but that wasn't the way it really worked in that era, right? Don Callis and I were driving, and the radio station, it was in Albany, and it was Edge 100-something. Growing up in Toronto, Edge 102 was always one of my favorite stations. I was like, that has a bit of a rock and roll feel to it, Edge." They were tossing around names like Rage, Riot, and it was the late 90s, right? I just thought, Edge, I'll throw that out there. At least that's something I could relate to a little bit better, and it stuck. With CM Punk calling out Adam Page on AEW Dynamite, it's been reported that this was a shoot, and at that, a receipt from Hangman's previous promo on Punk from May. Talking about this on his Hall of Fame podcast, Booker T said, "I am not surprised. I mean, I've been in the locker room with him. You're talking about backstage. Everything that we are hearing in the news right now on social media, I am not surprised one bit. I know the fans, they really love CM Punk. They got some kind of love affair with this guy, and I've said it before, CM Punk he has that ability to make fans feel a certain way about him. Right now, I feel like AEW's off track. I think that, like a politician, they are off message right now, as far as really trying to get the people to buy in what they're doing. NXT did 750,000 views last week, something like that. They are going strong, man, and the last thing they're thinking about, I think right now, is anything other than the show, giving the people an awesome show. There's so many antics going on right now with AEW as far as people. Talking to Fightful about Triple H being head of creative in WWE, former superstar for the company known as Slapjack on Raw, Shane Thorne expressed concern. I don't know, we'll see about changing fan reaction, because Raw and SmackDown used to be different, but it is a burnout process. It depends on how long they can keep it up for. Who says in a year or two that we don't get sick of this formula and people say it's too much change, I can't keep up with it. People are fickle, as they say. It is good though, I hear good things. I don't watch it, but I see things on the internet and it looks like there is good buzz surrounding the product. On his podcast, Ric Flair recalled his falling out with the NWA and how he nearly left in 1988. Close enough that I lost a lot of sleep over the decision, but at the end of the day, I just couldn't leave the guys. It had nothing to do with going up there. I knew equally as many people up there, and I've been lucky to have so many friends over the years in either company, and to this day still do. I couldn't leave the guys. It was an ego thing driven between me and Dusty that happened almost every 3 months, and we'd work our way through it. It had nothing to do with the way anybody was treating me at that time. This was long before Jim Herd or Eric Bischoff came along. This was just an ego-driven decision. The Nature Boy went on to mention his departure from WCW in '91. He just wanted to get out. In terms of who I've done business with, I don't think there was anybody easier. I just couldn't put up with the way Jim Herd was insisting on changing my entire character after being a world champion for the NWA for 10 times. I didn't get it, and it cracked me. I flew up and had dinner with Vince McMahon and went to the office. He said, I don't do guarantees, but I'll make you more than what you made last year. He asked me what I made, and I ended up making 130 more. And this was your pro wrestling news update. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later.